All right, so I'm just doing an overview of our assignment. You can't really see it on here yet because it hasn't posted, but I'm in the process of creating it and posting it on Google Classroom. So it will be up there, but it will be posted as Rhetorical Precis outline. And again, if you are absent, this is something to particularly pay attention to. We're going to be building off of this assignment. So in our previous days, we've worked on the analyzing these two documents, Trail of Tears documents. Okay, so if you open that up, if you go back to Thursday, September 2nd, this is what I'm referring to in the assignment for today, right? Is that you'll go back, and again, it's under Thursday, September 2nd. You're going to open up the documents that you analyzed for the Thursday assignment, and you're going to choose if you want to focus on Andrew Jackson's letter or if you want to focus on, scroll down, Chief John Ross's letter. Okay, so that's what I'm meaning with the when I explain for you to look at the Trail of Tears documents. Okay, so that's down here. You can access them. So yesterday we worked on our soapstone practice, and that was an analysis based on the letter that you chose, either Andrew Jackson's letter, okay, or the other letter. You were going to create a graphic organizer for your rhetorical analysis, okay? So our next step is actually creating it's called a rhetorical precis paragraph, all right? Now, you won't be seeing that posted until, it hasn't posted it yet. Okay, I'm going to be posting it. So under Friday, today's date, you're going to see the assignment here. I'm going to go and switch over. You're going to open up in Cami. Okay, and so this is what it's going to look like. So all it's explaining is that a rhetorical precis is more than just a summary. It's less neutral and it's more analytical of both the content and the method of the original text, like why it was written, what agenda did that person have that was writing it. So if you think of a summary, I'm just going to read from here. It says, if you think of a summary as primarily a brief representation of what the text says, then you might think of a rhetorical precis as a brief representation of what the text says and does. Although less common than a summary, rhetorical precis is a particularly useful way to sum up your understanding of how the text works rhetorically. All that's saying is that the rhetorical precis is different from a summary because it's focusing on the rhetorical devices that the author or speaker uses to persuade the audience. Okay, so it is more less neutral form of writing and more analytical way of writing. So let's look at the outline itself. So we're structuring, this is the typical structure of a rhetorical precis. It's a paragraph, usually written in a paragraph, and you have sentence one is going to talk about you're going to introduce the name of the author, the genre, meaning what type of text is it? Is it an article? Is it a letter? Is it a short story? Is it a song? And then the title of the work. What's the name of the work? Okay. Now, a rhetorically active verb is what you'll follow next, and a that clause containing a major assertion of the thesis of the text. All that's saying, if you go down a little bit more, it's going to give you a template here. Okay, right here. Okay, there's the template. So all you're going to do is just fill in the blanks and follow the guides here. So I'm going to put the author's name here because it says author. So is it from Andrew Jackson, right? Or is it from, oh my gosh, what is it? Chief, I forgot his name. Let me go back. That's going to bug me. I totally forgot. or is it going to be from Chief John Ross's letter? Okay. So you're going to put that in, oops. Okay, there. You're going to put that in the author's name. So you can say, right, so Chief John Ross in the blank, so it's a letter, it would be a letter, in the letter titled, and then you're going to go back and you're going to look at the title. I should just open this up. You might as well just open up the document. Okay. What is it titled? Right here. To the Senate and House of Representatives. That's the title. Okay. Okay. And then you're going to put, just keep following the outline. So now for B, you're wanting a rhetorically active verb. Okay, you can actually find that here. If you look down in this word bank, it actually gives you some words to help you complete, right, what you could put in the sentence here. So see how it says A and then it says B. So go down in the column for A. Again, it gives you article, book review, essay, column, tutorial. In this case, we're looking at a letter. So we already know that. And then B, here's what it means. Here are some verbs, rhetorically active verbs. Okay. So argues, asserts, suggests, claims, questions, explains. So you're going to pick one that you like the most, that you think works appropriately, and you're going to write, what is this person arguing? What's their purpose for writing this letter? Okay, so that's where you'll write that. So I could say, they argue that, and then that will be my thesis statement. Okay, what exactly are they trying to persuade, right? Or asserts that, if it was Andrew Jackson's letter, right, asserts that by removing the removal of Native Americans from their the removal of the Native Americans from their land will benefit the U.S., both the U.S. and Native American groups in the end, right? So that's what I'm saying is what Andrew Jackson is arguing, okay? And then now I'm going to back it up. So sentence 2 is going to be all about how. Well, how are they trying to persuade? What are they doing to be persuading the audience here, okay? So if you look at the next step, sentence 2. So author's last name. So let's say I'm going over to, let's say I'm talking about Andrew Jackson. I'm going to say Jackson supports his, what could I put? Oh, argument, right? Or belief, right? Jackson supports his argument by, and then using, you can say a type of rhetorical device that's being used. Okay, so explanation of, if you look at sentence 2, it's the explanation, right, of how the author develops and supports the thesis. Okay, so if you scroll down, I'm going to show you some examples. Okay, so this is their first sentence, right? That shows their, up until now, that's their first sentence. Baker supports this assertion by showing examples of how inappropriate attitudes can make writing unclear, pompous, and so forth. Okay. They also provide textual evidence. Okay. So that's what we're needing to do for this. Okay. Within this one here. Okay. Within sentence 2. So how? Okay. Jackson supports his belief or his suggestion, argument, by mentioning several details as several potential benefits of relocating the Native American tribes, or mentions how the U.S. will gain, specific power. Okay, so you're using an example from the text. Okay, and then sentence 3, you're going to write about, okay, the author's purpose. by stating these things, the author's purpose is to, okay, so C, the author's purpose is to illustrate, okay, or is to show or persuade. It's persuade Congress so that they will be able to carry out his goal, right? And then sentence 4 is the author writes in what kind of tone? Is it formal tone, informal, sarcastic, humorous? Contemptuous means like that it's like egotistical, like prideful, that it's seen as that they're better than everybody else. Okay? So you can only imagine who that is, right? All right. So essentially, I provided these examples for you guys to read and look at. Again, we're gonna look at this as a class, but again, this is for those that are absent. So I'm gonna be going through a few of these examples to show you what your product is gonna look like. Okay, the end goal. This is what your paragraphs should look like. Okay, these are different examples. Here's also how you break down each sentence. Okay, and again, like I said, it should be 4 sentences. Okay, and each one with a specific purpose. Okay, so sentence 1 is just introducing the reader to the author, the type of text, the title, and the claim, right? The thesis, the argument. Okay. Sentence 2 is talking about how the author goes about in supporting their belief, right? So what strategies does the author use, right? How it says right here, Morrison supports her implication by describing how Ernest Hemingway writes about Black characters by illustrating his strategies for plot development seen within his novels and short stories. So he's illustrating that with using plot development and his characters, okay? So next, your sentence 3 statement, okay? This is the apparent purpose, followed by in order to phrase, in which you'll explain what the author wants the audience to feel or as a result reading the work. So for example, it says, her purpose is to make her readers aware of the cruel reality of racism underlying some of the greatest works of American literature. They're going to do this in order to help them examine the far-reaching effects racism has not only on those discriminated against, but also on those who discriminate. Okay. And then the last sentence is a description of the intended audience and relationship the author establishes with the audience. So here's the other example. She establishes a formal and highly analytical tone with her audience of racially mixed, theoretically sophisticated readers and critical interpreters of American literature. Okay. So if you're still like thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Okay. Take it step by step, follow the examples, follow the template, and look at the examples to help you as you go. Now remember, you cannot do this assignment until you have read, okay, the letters that we're analyzing, and then you choose one. Okay, you don't have to do both of the letters, you just choose one. And before you even get to this part, you need to make sure you finish, okay, your soapstone practice. Okay, so it builds off of each other. Okay, these assignments each assignment has a purpose. It's important, right, that you do all of them before you get to the Trail of Tears Precis paragraph. Okay, so what this link is here is, depending on time, we might be doing this on Monday, but you're going to write your final paragraph.
Brandon Conrad, please report to the front office. Brandon Conrad, please come to the front office.
Sorry. You're gonna write your final paragraph in the no red ink assignment. That's what the rhetorical analysis essay. It says essay. We're not writing an essay, it's just a paragraph. So I'm actually going to edit that. All right. So let me go in and change that. It's not an essay. Okay. So I'm thinking, depending on how fast we are in class, I'm thinking we're going to be continuing this on Monday. I want to make sure that we do this correctly. Okay. So let's say you're absent tomorrow for Friday, right? September 10th for Friday. If you're planning on being back the following Monday, then just let me know of the questions that you have about the assignment, and I'm happy to go through them with you. You want to make sure you get as much done as possible, right? Because by Monday, we're going to be heading into writing our final draft. All right. And I hope to see you soon. And again, let me know if you have any questions.